What's up, Internet? We are here thanks to Vatical Entertainment, possibly, for making this game. This is also by Hudson Soft. This is, I guess, the first day of Bomber Week, although it was unintentionally so. This week of this year, we'll be doing Bomberman Jetters on the GameCube. Now, you might notice this is not that game. And that's because I thought it would be fun to do a Bomberman review alongside Bomberman Jetters Let's Play over the course of the week. So, what we're gonna do is, if I space this out correctly, and I've done the math right, in order to get Bomberman Jetters done by the, 24th, I need to start tomorrow? I hope, or else I'm a day behind already, and oh god, I'm not catching up. But I figured we could catch some Bomberman 64 footage, or Bomberman 64 second attack footage, to prep for my review, so I have a review that's also themed under Bomberman. And not only is this a good Bomberman game, because it was Bomberman on the N64, which, as we all know, undisputed was Bomberman was king. Seriously, Bomberman was so good on the N64. This was the best one. This is also probably one of the more obscure N64 games in North America, but not the most obscure Bomberman game on the N64, because there was actually a fourth one. So if you're just learning that there's three, surprise, there's four. But, yes, this is Baku Bomberman 64, the second attack, also known as Bomberman 64, the second attack. And the reason why it had to be called Baku Bomberman 64 in Japan was, of course, because there was another game called Bomberman 64 that was a completely different game. Because that doesn't make things remotely convoluted at all. Actually, the Japanese Bomberman 64 was the very last game the N64 ever got. But I've already done a full Let's Play of this. You can go on my YouTube channel and find that. I'm not sure how far we're going to play. I would love to get to one of the later levels because of a certain character would be great to get some footage of, but seeing as I intend to do this in maybe 2 sittings, we'll either have some very long sittings or we're just not going to get there. But we'll see as we go. But this is probably my favorite Bomberman game because I'm not the biggest multiplayer person ever. Like, I'm very much a single-player gamer. When I talk about games, I completely gloss over multiplayer because I think on a fundamental level, a truly great game shouldn't have to rely on multiplayer to be fun, because even the worst games can be fun if you play with other people. But this game probably has the best single-player campaign out of any Bomberman game, because, like the other N64 games, it has an actual adventure, but it's a lot more fleshed out than, say, Bomberman 64. And while Bomberman Hero was, I think, I know a lot of people don't, but I think Bomberman Hero was a great game. That one was a little bit more experimentative, and I don't think it necessarily worked on every level, whereas this game took the core functionality of puzzle solving that we know from Bomberman, and especially Bomberman 64, which this is a sequel to, and it just expanded on it. And really, the only things I don't like about this game are the fact that their levels feel a little bit too big, and there's no way to save, there's no checkpoints to save in a level. So once you start a level, if you aim to finish it, you gotta do it in one sitting, which, like I said, they're kind of a little bit long, especially if you compare it to any of the other Bomberman games. Most of the stages normally take about an hour to complete. I know I have a lot of problems with, what is either the 4th or 5th level, which normally takes me forever, and I hate that level with a passion, but yes, we've got plot, because Bomberman on the 64 always had plot, except for the Japanese exclusive one, which was kind of a weird amalgam of both Panic Bomber, Bomberman Land, and the original Bomberman. And if you want to see more of that, you can also see footage of that on my YouTube channel, where I think I did like a 15-minute Let's Play of it. Now, currently we do not have the magical Fire Stone, which gives us the Bomberman exploding plus bombs of fire, which means we actually have no bombs whatsoever right now. See, that's another thing this game added, in addition to whatever's going on with this egg right now, is Essentially, it has a sort of Mega Man style of when you beat a boss, you gain a new bomb that behaves slightly differently. It's really cool. Now, this is Pommy. This was a character that I believe was introduced in this game, but then showed up in like every Bomberman game afterwards, where he was renamed into a Charabon as opposed to a Mimic. And he's kind of like a Tamagotchi. Essentially, as you go through the world, you can find items that you can pick up and he'll eventually transform. And he's got like this giant evolution chart. It's really cool. Really, his inclusion in this game is just to justify having 2 people to play the single-player campaign. But he's really cool. I always loved Pommy back in the day. He was, even though I play single-player, I think Pommy was a neat little addition that made the adventure a little bit more fun. And just the many different ways he evolved made it certainly a more deep game. Considering this is not a very long game or anything, it's a game that has like 8 levels. But to have something that's sort of like, play through the game multiple times, see all the different evolutions and stuff, and there was like 2 secret evolutions as well that you could get, which I think I got one of during my Let's Play, so again, go watch that. But this is a fun game. I quite like it. It's easily my favorite Bomberman game, might be my favorite N64 game, and that's on a system that has Animal Crossing, and Blast Corps, and Banjo-Kazooie. So it had some competition, but damn, this game is good. And it looks a hell of a lot better than the original Bomberman 64, but this was a late N64 game from like 2001, I think? If it wasn't 2001, it was like late 2000, but yeah, this one definitely looks a lot better than what was essentially a launch title for the N64. If I recall, in the original Bomberman 64, Bomberman's face was like a 2D sprite superimposed on top of a 3D object, and it looked like they weren't remotely meshed together. Whereas this one, they actually got like the proper character models, like actually working properly and stuff, because they finally understood how 3D models worked, I guess. And they brought back pumping up bombs, which was one of my favorite things from Bomberman 64. And, like I said, there's tons of different bombs. Every bomb behaves differently as you pump it up, too. So it's not like they all look like the same giant explosion or anything. So there's a lot of depth to this game. It was also kind of interesting because it was a game where you didn't have to go through all the levels to beat the game, necessarily. This game has 2 endings. If you want to get the true ending, then you had to go through every level, and you had to do a specific thing on the final level, but if you just wanted to beat the game, you could get through it with like 5 levels completed plus the final area. But we're in probably the most boring level because it's the starting level. There's no power-up to get because it's the fire bomb, which we already have. It's interesting also to note that this was the first Bomberman game on the N64, and the only one in North America that actually had bombs that explode in the standard plus pattern, outside of multiplayer anyway. Because Bomberman Hero as well as Bomberman 64 had like round explosions. And my first Bomberman game was actually Bomberman 64. I'm a little embarrassed to admit that, so when I saw that these bombs explode in like this weird cross-shaped pattern, I was really confused. Like, what's with this nonsense of not blowing up in a circle? But fortunately, we can get plenty of other Bomberman bits that will work as we've sort of grown to expect at this point. Another thing worth noting, there's a heart counter, because you can take multiple hits in this game, which is awesome. Like that. In any other Bomberman, we'd be dead. But not in this one. Now, as you can see, there's some food here. And we're going to grab the carrot and the chicken. I can't remember if it's meat or vegetables we want. I think we want meat. Because, like, I want to get a specific Pommy evolution. And if I recall, I was trying to get it a lot as a kid and I could never get it. That's because I always thought it was like a evolution you need meat for, so I always went for fruit to see if it was different. And I just could not for the life of me figure out why I could not get it. Although it doesn't really matter here since we're just doing this for fun to get footage for review. In fact, I guess this isn't even technically what the hell is, because I know, well, what this game is. This is the best Bomberman game. Unless you want, if you want multiplayer, the best Bomberman game is Bomberman on the Saturn, which had 10-player multiplayer. But this one, I think, had some of the most interesting multiplayer because it had, like, so many different modes, and it had, like, a challenge mode if you want to play single player, which you need to do if you want to unlock everything. And, well, this particular version actually came with everything unlocked. The previous owner said that, and this is a sort of a personal history thing with me, is I knew the previous owner of this game. I went to high school with him. And we were, I hesitate to use the word friends, but we kind of bonded over this game, and it turned out, I think his brother stole this from the movie store, where I rented it from, and the thing is, I'm the one who unlocked everything on here. And then he inadvertently kind of, when he stopped talking to me, I tried to give this game back to him, and he just never took it, so it's mine through forfeiture, I guess, but I'm quite glad because this is my favorite Bomberman game. It's one of my favorite N64 games, and it is rare and hard to get a hold of. Like, I think if you want to get a copy nowadays, it's like $200, which is kind of insane. And don't get me wrong, this game is amazing, but man, that's a lot of money. That said, I mean, Saturn Bomberman's about that as expensive too if you want a North American version. Fortunately, I have a Japanese copy, which cost me all of 30 cents. Importing is awesome. But I freaking love Bomberman, which is kind of the genesis of this whole Bomberman Christmas Marathon that will be starting tomorrow. It sort of started back when I was a kid. I think I've explained this like every year, but the idea was every Christmas my parents would take me over to a family friend's house, and they had a kid that was a little bit older than me, and every year we ended up, like, completely unintentionally renting Bomberman. And like the first year we rented the first Bomberman N64 game, the second year we rented Bomberman Hero, the second one that came out, the third year we got this one. And you know, it was really a completely coincidental thing that it happened, but, you know, it was a sort of happy tradition of mine. And because of that, I like sharing this every year with the world around me. And here's the boss, who is Fire Elemental, because he was supposed to have the Fire Bomb, but it was our Fire Bomb, so he gets no bomb powers. Poor, what's his name, Baleful, or Baleful, or whatever his name was. He's also the weakest of the bosses, obviously. What is interesting about the bosses, after the first three, every single boss gains like an insta-kill move. I think the final two, I know the penultimate one gets something like 4 moves, and 3 of them are instant kills. I think his one non-instant kill move damages you like 2 hearts and paralyzes you, which is great. I'm gonna just... Can I do this before the fight starts? Yes, I can. I'm just gonna tweak this, because it feels like it needs to be stretched a wee bit more. There we go. That was bothering me. Alright, so now we're good. So now we gotta go fight this weak-ass boss. But every boss disables your remote, which is kind of a pain in the ass. So if you're reliant on your remote, you're kind of screwed. Now, the bright side is, unlike, say, Bomberman 64, which had a boss entirely designed around knocking you out and instant killing you by throwing you in the water, this game doesn't have that. In fact, it has a boss you can instant kill. I did it during my Let's Play last time, so maybe you should go see that, because there's a good chance we'll run into him here, but if we're going as late as I plan on, but the odds of running into him and, like, instant killing him are very slim. Actually, it might be possible to instant kill this guy. Just gotta get him into the right spot. Oh, so close. Like, I know the boss you have to instant kill. You have to, like, knock him into a piece of environment that kinda instant kills him. I bet this guy would do it if you knocked him off into, like, the drink. Problem with using, like, super big bombs like that is, you're gonna get yourself murdered. I just want to test this now, though. Like, that is magical to me. The problem is, you kind of have to use, like, the big bombs to, get a little bit better hitbox. No, we want you next to this. Sitting out there in that corner does no one any good. Yep, that's where we want you. Now stay there. Aw. Completely random, it seems, but... I still want to try. Just for the sake of funsies, really. No, go away. Yeah, staying in the middle is where I want you least of all, guy. Whoa. Nope, stay there. Oh. Now again, the problem with having huge explosions is that they end up taking up space where you can... Okay, he's dead. I ended up taking way too much damage there, but man, I really wanted to see if I could instant kill him. I know you can do it. Maybe not this guy, but I know you can instant kill bosses in this game. But, this is the most weak of all the bosses. And now we get to meet a character who is largely pointless. We run into a character who exists more or less to be a sort of love interest, I guess? But the weird thing is, like, the only reason she's actually in the story is to give, like, backstory on the villain and to kind of justify, like, the fact that there's a second villain in the game later on. It's genuinely weird. Her character does not really need to be here at all, other than to satisfy one sort of thematic thing. It should also be known that while there are unlimited continues, you only get 3 where you get to keep your power-ups. So if we lost on that boss a bunch of times, we could continue, but we'd lose all our power-ups, including our remote. And that's kind of a problem when it comes to the super, super long levels, because, say, we get to the final room and we have to do, like, a puzzle there. If we die there and have to start over, we might run out of, like, power-ups that we could have really used. So that's a thing. But yeah, this is, the lady that has some of the best music in the game, honestly. She has 2 themes, and they're both some of the best songs on the soundtrack. But, she's basically just here to be love interest, the character, I guess? Well, what can you do? You also notice on the right of the screen, right behind Lilith, there is an extra little ladder. That is going to be important in about 2 seconds for completely pointless things. But it's important if you're trying to collect all of the things. Yeah, he didn't have a jewel. I had it already. He tried to steal it from me. He's a jerk. But she's a space pirate, so she's trying to steal them all because plot. So we need to go destroy a gravity generator to get out of this black hole of death. So that's kind of what the plot is at this point. We're just stuck in a black hole which has its own sort of microcosm that we're trying to free from the black hole boom army. Not listening because love interest. But to be fair, that's how I feel about this game. It's just awesome. Alright, now I think it's over here. Yep. That's a rather suspicious looking block. Boom. Arm parts. Because like Bomberman 64, the original, there's a custom Bomberman you can make, which is awesome. Unfortunately, there is a giant missed opportunity in that they could have, potentially, made the custom Bomberman a thing you could actually use in the story mode, but of course they didn't. It's just a thing you can use in multiplayer, and that sucks. Now what's interesting is, I think I kind of mentioned, there's lots of collectible characters you can get from completing challenges in the multiplayer mode. And there's even like a sort of custom Bomberman armor you get in the story that you can't actually wear. But weirdly enough, in multiplayer you cannot have that armor, and none of the villain characters are playable, which I think is a first for... Nope, the first Bomberman 64 did that as well, where you couldn't play as the villain Bomberman people. Which, I think that's a little weird. I mean, granted, you probably can't have, like, their elemental abilities, although that would make, battles a lot more interesting, I suppose. No, I want meats. I will assume kebab equals meat, but it's probably vegetable. Although kebab could really be anything. Now, if I recall, there's an enemy that drops down if you take too long, but we need to destroy these things. It's this guy, he's gonna drop down. Candy. I don't think candy actually does anything. So pick that up. As far as I know, it's just meat and vegetables that matter. Although, if you want to get one of these special types, you have to get, like, the biggest meat, the biggest vegetables, and, like, the biggest candy, and you have to get, like, 40 of each. But there's also an area in the game that just gives them to you, so... Now, if you are playing multiplayer and, you're playing with someone, whoever's playing Pommy is kind of screwed immediately, because Pommy can't do anything. Pommy can create little mini, sort of dizzy effects, and that's about it. And it's not until he gets to like his 3rd or 4th evolution that he actually gets the power to do anything. Now, if I recall, you want to go down here for collectibles. Whoa, that was not what I wanted to do. Head parts. And I think if you run in a circle, you actually make this thing gain height a lot faster. And there should be one in here. Body! And then there's one more, but I can't remember where that is offhand. Oh, I know where it is. It's right by the exit. Okay, we can grab them all. Now, the problem is, to do this, we went like 3 rooms back, but still. Doors are still locked, but... Now, that said, this game does have a little bit of... Like, it sounds weird to say this, but this game does have influence from Bomberman 64, if you can believe it. Anyone who's ever beaten the original Bomberman 64, they know of the horrendousness that is the Rainbow Palace. And all the crazy bomb jumping and nonsense you have to do in order to get through that. If you want to get all the collectible Bomberman parts, there's 1 or 2, I think, that require stuff like that. Like, if I recall, there's one on either the 4th or 5th planet, depending on what order you do them in, because there's a selectable order. And depending on which order you get them in, depends on when you go and get them, but this one requires you to basically climb a sheer wall using only bombs and like knocking yourself out, and then bouncing straight up a sheer wall. Like, it's insane, and it reminds me of Rainbow Palace, which terrifies me because, man, Rainbow Palace was the worst. Like, I like trying to do these Bomberman Let's Plays every year, but I draw the line at Rainbow Palace. I will fight the boss to Rainbow Palace, but I will not do those levels. Alright, we should be good to go now. That's the funny thing, these levels aren't necessarily that big, but they are intricate, and they do require a little bit of backtracking. Like right here, you see the steam vent. To open up the final door to this area, we have to actually go through that steam vent. And to get there, we have to basically go to the penultimate room flip a switch and then come back. And then that'll fix everything. Now, the nice thing is the penultimate room is, I think, like, one room away after this one. So it's not like it's a huge undertaking or anything, but it's still, it feels like a lot of the level design has you backtrack a little bit. And if you're not into backtracking, that's certainly not going to interest you, but yeah, this is the room that'll take out the... This will take out the steam vents, which will let us pass, which will in turn allow us to move on. There's a big block. Yes, we can. I've played Rainbow Palace. I know exactly how to bomb jump. I've had to bomb jump crazy amounts. Okay, now this crazy mech guy looks terrifying. He's the only time you ever run into him, though. Like, there's nothing else quite like him in the rest of the game. For whatever reason, they just decided for the final gatekeeper of this area, we're gonna make a big, scary guy for no real reason. There we go. Leg parts. Got them all. And we can take a look once we're done this. Because, of course, it only saves after you beat a level. Which is not the best way to do things, but regardless. Ooh. With that as well. Although I think I am moving about as fast as we possibly can move at this point. That might have been a bad idea. Alright, we got big meat. And we just gotta wait for these. Go away. Go do something productive, Pommy. I mean, I know at this point you are physically incapable of it, but still. You know, the funny thing is, like, depending on how you level Pommy, too, like, you can't do much right now, but if you level him in the exact wrong way, like, most evolutions, by, like, the second or third stage, he normally can actually start doing damage. If you level him the exact wrong way, it's not until his final evolution he actually can damage stuff, which is kind of atrocious. This is probably my favorite N64 game. Like, this game's great. I'm kind of sad I've already done, my full Let's Play of this for the Bomberman marathon I'm doing, but, you know, I wanted to review this game, so I thought it'd be fun to play it a little bit more in between the Bomberman marathon that has to go on for the rest of the week. I love this game. I'm not sure if I'll play through the entire thing, though. Like, I think what I'll do, maybe, is I will play up to, ideally, the last set of levels. Maybe grab some footage for the last set of levels. And if I have time, maybe do the final level on a completed save. Just so I can get around some nonsense of having to do extra levels and stuff. But from what I remember, the final stage takes a while. Although granted, last time when I did a full Let's Play of this game, that was because I didn't realize I had to, like, hit a thing a specific number of times with a specific set of bombs. Now, this is the final area of every room, the gravity generator room. This is basically kind of like a secondary boss fight of sorts. Because you can't play with your partner and you lose all your bomb power-ups, which kind of sucks. But it's a lot more simple, I think, in terms of getting around a pattern or whatever, because it's really just a matter of blowing these things up. If you can do that, you're good. But bosses are a lot more simplistic in terms of just how they work, I suppose. I don't think that's going to reach. I think I specifically have to go on here and try and throw it in. Oh god, that's less than ideal. But, fortunately, we are playing a Bomberman game that has health, so it's not immediately getting murdered the game anymore. Or I could just do that, I guess. Now, the thing I always like to do with these things is I like to finish them off with a giant explosion. Just because I think it's a giant punctuation on the final area of the world. myself. Alright, so we beat the first level. Now, ideally, we're gonna finish the second tier as well before this is done, but I'm good to do this for another couple hours at least. Now, what's weird right about now is we actually get like an extra bit of exposition for finishing the level. Like, you get exposition for finishing every level from the villain's perspective, which I think is a really cool idea. But this time we also get like an extra cutscene with our character saying, somehow we teleported into the villain's main base, let's steal a ship. So, I guess every time we finish an area, we get sent here, and then we just steal another ship, and eventually they run out of ships. And somehow we found paint to paint them all pink. Spoilers, they get painted pink, by the way. One thing I really like is the, villain insignia, like the insignia on the ship right now. I think it's really, really neat. Like, it's just a black hole, but something about that's just really, really striking and cool. Where are you getting paint from? We know how to fly a ship. No problems. I think this ended up being like Bomberman's main ship in every game afterwards, because he always gets one that looks like Pommy for some reason. I really like that black hole insignia. Alright, so now we get a little bit of a taste of all the villains. This is the leader of all the villains who has the most fantastic laugh. And an impossible to pronounce name. Now the thing is, the villains are not really all that clever. They're just sort of evil. He's old, that's his sort of thing. They're kind of like the Smurfs, they have like one personality trait. He's old. She's girl. Let's see, who do we got next? We have... Oh, we've got, the very anxious, antsy, hot-blooded youth. Who you can one-shot. Oh, I really hope I can do that this time. That was such a highlight for me. It was Bomberman, you know, the protagonist of the entire series. Yeah, no. I'm gonna keep that Firestone, and I'm gonna take all the other ones too. Because, spoilers, they're awesome. Okay, this guy's personality trait is he's also old. They kind of ran out of personality traits. They kind of had 3. They're either young, girl, or old guy. And with the one standout being easily the coolest of all the Astral Knights, Bullzeeb, who is a throwback to the previous Bomberman 64 game, where he's done taking shit being the easiest boss in that game, and instead, 3/4 of his entire repertoire are instant kill moves. But man, is he cool. And he's the guy who clearly knows more than he's letting on, is super mysterious and badass, and is also part jet. But that's because Regulus was just sort of the man back then too. You know, I don't think I've ever gotten the bad ending to this game. I've just never bothered. Maybe I'll try and do that. That sounds like a guy I used to know back when I was blue and the easiest to defeat boss ever. But in addition to their very bland personalities, they also all have like an elemental affinity related to their color. So the blue guy's ice, the green guy's wind, the, I guess, brown guy is magma and has the worst level ever. And of course the best characters, Bullzeeb and the other characters, Zanya They're light and dark, who have like the greatest bombs ever, but they're such a pain to use. Seriously, best bomb you get in this game can be like the second one you can get, because it's like the most utilitarian of all the bombs. Okay, so we completed this. If you get all the bomber parts, you can complete, as opposed to just having like this normal insignia here. There's a shop we can go to spend our hard-earned money, which can be kind of awesome. You can buy all the clothes off him, and if you do, he actually is basically naked. You can buy hints on where to find special secrets, as well as boss stuff. You can buy full powers. You can only buy it once, but it fully maxes out your bombs. And I'm absolutely buying that heart. You can also buy new levels for online, as well as secret tapes of the endings. Well, we don't need any more from him. Now we can select a level. I'm just going to back out for just a sec, because I want to take a look at the custom bomber parts. So we went through here, and we've got the night stuff, because we found them all on Alcatraz. And if we wanted, we could actually put the Night Bomberman in our multiplayer. But there's already a Night in multiplayer I've unlocked way back when. And it's kind of sad, because you can't use any of this for single player. And like, the armor you can get in single player, you can't use in multiplayer. Like, let's just take a look at the... Get super cool gold armor, which is not a complete bitch to get in this game, unlike the first game, which... Dear Lord, 100% the game in 3 hours. That's fun. A lot of the armors in this game are actually reused from the original Baku Bomberman 64. Weirdly enough, the one I really liked in that game, the dragon armor, is not in this game, though, which is weird. No thanks. But, yeah, there's a bunch of collectible stuff you can get in here. Now, we could select our levels. We could go to the Ocean Planet, fight the Ice Guy, get the best bombs in the game for utilitarian purposes, or we can go to the Wind Planet. Now, the Wind Planet I find is a lot harder, but out of tradition, I always go Wind after, which is fun. This level feels a little bit long. Great music, though. Also, our ship changed color. I don't think we got Pommy enough food for him to transform, though. But, let's find out. Oh yeah, this level likes to introduce everything that the first level didn't, which is you can instant die if you fall off platforms and stuff. Oh, no, Pommy's evolving. Wonder what Pommy we're getting. Hopefully we do not get muscle-bound Pommy, because he sucks. Nope, we got little, dog Pommy, which is the better one of the two. I'm gonna have to look up, like, an actual chart of his evolutions now, because I can't remember. Alright, because we left, we lost all our power-ups. Oopsie. Okay, these, snakes are a pain in the ass, because they can hurt you, and they can also paralyze you. I'm just gonna run away. It would have been great to have kept all my power-ups. I might have been able to actually take out the boss in one shot. I don't think there's, like, a, actual glove power-up this early in here, normally. And I don't think you get save power-ups between levels if you don't, finish them. Alright, come on. There we go. We'll take the speed power up because moving faster is always good. Now the first half of this level is kind of like most levels, it's just getting to the boss to get the power up. And the second half is just finishing off all the puzzles and stuff. But this level feels really puzzly comparatively, I think. If I recall, it also is like one of the worst bits of this level. Or worst bits of the game, certainly. Because there's just like this one almost sort of blind shot you have to make, and if you miss, you die instantly, and it's like, oh, that's not fun. Oh yeah, if Pommy gets in the way, you can't push objects too. It doesn't come up often, but it can get a little obnoxious. The nice thing is you can just summon him back to you with C up. If you're the kind of person who uses the C buttons anyway. Get out of the way. Alright. But, yeah, I think this is probably the best Bomberman game. Now, if I recall, the snake statues turn into snakes when you blow them up. Some of them do, anyway. And I see a little soft block there. And I want to get out of the way before I blow myself up. And I think that was a custom part. Let's go up and over. Oh, hey, this thing actually works with the D-pad. That's awesome. That actually makes things better. I mean, it's a little bit awkward using the thing, but, you know, the way the N64 controller is designed comparatively to how terrible the C-sticks are, I might just do this. Okay. So we got the bomber thing, which allows us to remote bomb things. Again, pretty useless in terms of all the rooms where you might actually want to use it, but it can be useful if you combine it with other powers. Really wish I had the glove right now. Again, if I had left, I probably would have it, so I kind of feel dumb for doing that, but, you know, live and learn. Whoa, let's not get ourselves murdered. We only get 3 lives before we lose all our power-ups. Okay. Nice work there, Pommy. Oh! Ah. Power downs. But fortunately, I now have remotes, which is nice for setting things up. Like that. Power up. Don't want that. Okay. So yeah, the sort of goal to getting around this level is mostly just collecting orbs in various little challenge rooms that give you slightly more of a... Okay, thanks there, cutscene-y bit. And I'm gonna have to blow that up because I'm stuck here and don't have kick. I do want that, though. A little bit of silver, that'll give us some money, which means we can go buy some more stuff. But, of course, all we really need are the health power-ups, because I'm not trying to go for completion or anything. I'm not even trying to beat the game, really, I'm just here for footage. But playing through it again is fun. Okay, another thing we're saying is that statue in the middle, which you probably just saw, that I just murdered, was actually an enemy. But it looks kind of vaguely like these other statues. Take that. Although, getting speed-ups in a place like this is not necessarily the best plan. Glove! I might actually be able to insta-kill the boss. That'd be fun. Right, I don't have kick yet. Now, if I recall, that up there is a custom part. Now, the idea would be that you'd sort of knock yourself, again, I don't have kick, off like a bomb you place here from a bomb that knocks you here, which would knock you up, which would, like, get you onto that platform. Again, very Rainbow Palace stuff, and I really need to remember that I do not have kick. But, yeah. It's not exactly the worst custom part to get in this game. That is still the one in front of the casino on Starlight, but it's certainly not the most fun one to get. There we go. I want all the money! And of course the money will disappear in the cutscene as well if you take too long. So I'd like that. Go team! Speed up, which we need a lot of, actually. Actually, that's part of why I don't like the villain to this area. Even though you can instant kill him, he has a penchant for being very, very fast and being able to just blow up all your bombs and murder you. He doesn't have an instant kill move, which is nice, and he's got attacks that are basically completely pointless, but he's also a very, very mean person. And that's part of the reason why you tend to want to go for ease of winning, you want to go to the ice planet first, just by virtue of the fact the bomb you get there is a lot more practical. Like, this bomb has like a cross pattern, but the one you get there has a circular pattern. Sort of like any other N64 Bomberman game that isn't the Japanese exclusive one. Now you can see this giant fire pit here. And again, I'm going to try, but I'm not sure I can. If you want to see this for sure, go to my YouTube channel and take a look at my Let's Play of this level. You can knock him into that and kill him instantly. And I'm still very proud I found that when I did. I didn't think that was a thing either. But this is a fun boss, except not really. He's not the worst or anything, but he's just kind of obnoxious. And of course, Pommy runs away and he disables my remote. So if you were playing multiplayer and relying on your teammate, well, if you're relying on your teammate this early and he's Pommy, you're kind of screwed anyway, but still. Alright, let's see if I can insta-kill you, because I really, really want to. Actually, this guy's a challenge just to kill on normal if you don't have the ice bombs. Because he does that, mostly. Got a bit of a delay there, guy, but okay. Yeah, see, if you knock him back, he'll, oh, almost. Not quite. I'll take the damage, though. I really do not want to deal with this guy when he's moving around. Probably knock him off the ledge, too, actually. Huh. That's not as effective. I mean, knock him into the fire, that's an instant kill. Knock him off the platform didn't do anything. Huh, interesting. Get over here, I want to kill you. It's very stylish. Although again, if you want to take damage, that doesn't hurt my feelings either. Okay, when he does that attack, he's invulnerable to stun. This is good to know. See, I remember Bomberman 64, you could knock your enemy off a cliff and it would kill them instantly. Here it just does nothing. That would have been a fun callback. Come on, get over here. The nice thing is, he's not as hard as I remember him being. But... come on, stay in the middle. I'm just gonna drop off a cliff like a freaking genius. Awesome. Now, this does highlight something I like about this. You can keep your power-ups in between lives 3 times. Now, unfortunately, this is kind of one of the longer levels, so there's definitely a chance we're going to run out of lives before we finish this. And there's one room that is absolutely scary without power-ups. And scary with power-ups. It's a room where there's a high chance you're probably going to die. That's another thing I don't like about this. You can't skip this nonsense. If you don't like this, you kind of have to just sort of sit through it, which sucks. But, you know, it is what it is. It's an N64 game. There weren't a lot of games around that time that let you skip cutscenes. Alrighty. Out of the way, Squire. There'll be a night when you stop running away from everything. Alright. So let's try this again. Oh, I'm absolutely terrified of having to do Bomberman Generation Jetters. I did Generation last year. I'm terrified of having to do Bomberman Jetters tomorrow. Like, that's the thing. I played Bomberman Jetters when I was a kid, and I played Bomberman Generations about that time too. I remember Generation being good and Getters being bad. I played Generation last year and I found it to be horrifyingly bad. I only touched the fire anyway. Huh. I don't think I've ever seen him get stuck back there. That's interesting. Oh god, it's Skyward Sword all over again. I need to stop blowing myself up with fire. Ah. So I'll throw out one, and I'll just knock him backwards. Thing is, I need to... Oh, I got 2 hearts out of him anyway. That's kind of nice. I don't think he can kill you if he dashes into you, but I think it knocks you out. Alright. Come on. Come on. Whoop. I'm gonna have to do that Japanese exclusive Bomberman game someday. I mean, I've already got like 15 minutes of footage on my channel, but that's one I'm gonna have to really sit down and spend a lot of time with. This one I know pretty much like the back of my hand, but that Bomberman 64 Japanese only game, that one's a little bit trickier to go through. Fun compilation of stuff though. A little bit weird, but fun. Excuse me. Alright, come on, let's try again. I don't even necessarily want to throw you in the fire pit, but I just want to take as much time as I can to do it. If you die from damage, that's fine, but I'm not going to actively attack you if you're not by the fire pit. That is my rule now. I need to kill you stylishly, damn it! Alright, come on. I already killed the other hot-blooded youth knight. Come at me, wind guy. Also, the faces look way better than the character models. And it feels like that would certainly be something they were capable of making, like a model that actually looked like they're... Oh, that would have been the perfect place to knock him out. See, it's best if you can get him right in the center. Because if he's by the corners, which is where he normally likes to camp out, you kind of have to hit him at an angle, and that's a little bit tricky. Let's go again. That was weird. It's pretty rare to see this guy actually walk anywhere. He tends to just sort of teleport around. And he does that because it's designed to take out bombs as he goes. Did you just get hit 3 times? That was interesting. I mean, I'll take the quick kill right there. That was weird. Now, if I recall, this guy's Mr. Chivalrous Nightman guy. And he's very, very condescending. But, he gives us the Windstone like a good, honorable knight. Which is really good of him. Just very nice to concede the duel and give us our prize. Like the honorable, noble person. Also, there's a question mark there. Almost as if it's probably not the Windstone. Instead, it's an actual bomb. So he's not as nice or chivalrous as he likes to think he is. He's just kind of a jerk. And I think my cat wants outside, so I will be back in just a second. You want out, Mr. Cat? Alright, out you go. And in about 5 seconds, he'll start meowing at me to let him inside or something. He's a very needy cat, because cats. Alright, now we got the real Windstone, because Mr. Honorable Knightman guy decided to give us a fake, like an Honorable Knight. Way to go, hero. Alright, so this is more or less a puzzle-solving tool, more than anything. It can do some damage, but a lot of enemies are basically immune to the wind bombs. But, they do that, and that's what they do. They can take out soft blocks like any other bomb, but they don't do a lot of damage, which is useful if you're, you know, using them, and here's the arm parts for some reason. But for the most part, it's kind of like one of the weaker bombs, just not all that useful comparatively. Like, I think that, genie guy over there is unaffected by them. Yeah. And there's actually, like, a lot of enemies that are just downright not affected by wind bombs. So you kind of have to know who you're fighting to utilize it all that well. And we're about to very quickly run into, like, the most dangerous room of all time. I think we have to do some actual backtracking first, though. But the pump bombs are always fun. I mean, net, you're not really doing anything different or anything. You're just seeing a bigger explosion, but still. Now, all the doors in here are locked. We're going to have to come back in a minute. Whoopsie. That's going to, yeah, do that. Now, see, this is a problem with this specific area is, unless you do something like that, and then throw Pommy out of the way because he's annoying, and have him completely ruin everything for you, there's a good chance if you're using, like, the wind bombs or even, like, the fire bombs, you're going to screw yourself over because you're going to either take damage or you're going to get blown back to the previous room. And here's plot exposition girlfriend of random backstory because we need to give the villain a backstory and justify the second final boss for some reason. But at least she has a lovely soundtrack. So yeah, we beat the boss, we got ourselves a new stone. It's ours, you can't have it. It looks like the moon. Except for the previous one. Oh good, exposition dump. They're the nice elemental knights who have been corrupted and turned into evil astral knights. For some reason even... Like, that's the weird thing. They're corrupt, but they still kind of maintain their personalities for some reason. They're not just some, like, pawns. They're just like, eh, we're evil now, I guess. Sure, why not? Because we needed to antagonize someone. I mean, at least Bullzeeb has a reason to sort of be opposing you. Everyone else is just like, eh, the guy above us just told us to. Sure, why not? Alrighty. So we gotta be careful, and by be careful we mean beat all the other Astral Knights and steal all the stones. Because we're heroes. Stealing artifacts is just sort of what we do. Alrighty. We have to activate some things. Now, we need to get 3 jewels here, I believe, which will help unlock that floating island with that red jewel, where we need to get that red jewel to walk all the way back to the start of the world, to open a door that's here, to walk all the way back here. So it's not necessarily the best design level ever. It does feel like just a bunch of meaningless busy work that could have been better utilized pretty much in any other way. And don't use the wind bomb in the square next to you, or you will just die. It's kind of surprising how much instant death is in this game after the first level. I mean, because you got this world which is flying in the sky. There's the leg parts. You've got the ocean world, which Bomberman can't swim, so if he falls in the water, he dies instantly. You have magma. You have a casino, which for the most part doesn't instantly kill you, which is kind of nice. And then after that, it's just more like falling in water and falling in holes and just dying instantly. There's a lot of instant death in this game for weird reasons. What I do like is, like, there's lots of little tests to see if you understand what you have. So it's like, yes, I've got the wind bomb, but, do you know how to use it? Like, the power-ups are not worthless, and they make sure you understand how to use them before they really force you to go any further. Cake. I need that to upgrade Pommy later. But right now it's completely worthless and might actually throw off our evolution plan, but I don't have a plan because I'm not seriously trying to play through this. Alright, so next we got the green jewel. I have to go find a place where a green jewel fits. Oh, right, I have to push these right. Okay, so I believe there's another green jewel in the room opposite here. Which, that's gonna kill me instantly. Because instant death pits. We just like them. We can't make it too easy. It's still definitely a Bomberman game. There has to be plenty of instant death. You just also happen to have a health bar now. Okay, so let's go with fire bombs just because I'm not going to accidentally blow myself away. I'll just take damage. No, I want to... Oh, that other genie's over there now too. And I got these snakes. Good work, Pommy. Pommy being fairly useful. It's a lot more useful when he actually starts doing damage, but right now he's fairly useless. Alright. So, what we want to do is blow both of them up. And now we've got an item there that we don't want. What is with, like, the geometry on this pit? It's just like a flat angled surface. It looks really out of place compared to everything else in this room. Alright, and throw. I want the gold. I need to buy more power-ups for my health bar, so I'm less easy to get murdered. Alright, this room. This is the worst room in the world, possibly the game. You can see that purple pillar to the side. That's completely useless for now. That might be useful later, though, depending on how much I want to show. And these statues correspond specifically to certain buttons, which makes a lot of sense. Like, it couldn't have been any of the other statues here. Now you're not seeing it. Let's see if we can get a better look. But that statue just appeared over there on that raising and lowering platform, and I really hope you're starting to see what they expect you to do here, because it's mean. It's the only word I can use to describe this situation. It's like, it's not nice. It's just rude and unpleasant. And that's the shame. There's so much to like about this game, but then they do like stupid rooms like this, and like really this entire planet, which is mostly backtracking, and the next really awful planet, the Earth planet, which is just largely unpleasant. But there's so much to like about this game. Like, every other planet might be very, very long feeling, but, you know, for the most part they work out, ignoring all the instant death. I mean, the two final planets are really fun. Go away, Pommy. We need you to actually get out of the way so I can push this thing. And if I recall, if you die here, you have to repush all these statues. So, yeah. Okay. And of course, it's on a one square that you had to put yourself on, so if you didn't angle yourself just right in the palm, it could send you to your death pretty easily. Now, fortunately, I do have the remotes, but timing this is still a little bit less than ideal. Alright, there we go. Okay. Now, so long as we don't get knocked off this thing, we should be okay. I hope. Alright, that was actually really clean. That's a scary room. Doesn't necessarily look that bad, but man, is that not a fun room. Now we have to go to the penultimate room yet again to put the green jewels in so that we can unlock a door to get a red jewel, so we can go back to the entrance, put that in the thing, just to go back to the penultimate room yet again, so we can leave. Again, this world is not the most well-designed ever. But man, I so love this game. Bomberman was so good in adventure games, and you know, it's a shame that after the N64 there was like the 2 GameCube ones, which I don't remember being any good. And that was basically all the Bomberman adventure games. Like, the rest were all just sort of... the Super Bomberman games were kind of more or less just like the original ones, just a little bit flashier, and they weren't... excuse me. They weren't bad games or anything, but they just were not the fun adventure games that we remember. Oh yeah, these floors crack, by the way. And you die. And have fun respawning back to the halfway point. Now, to be fair, if we got the green jewel and died here, we could actually... actually, no, we couldn't. We had to insert the green jewel somewhere else. Now we're moving a lot slower because, of course, we ran out of power-up saves. Plus, we have no remote bombs. And now we're dead again. You know what? I have no power-ups. I'm not that bitter about losing. But, of course, right about now, it's the time where you wish there's like a mid-level checkpoint and you could just reload that or something. You know, go from a previous save. But it's like, nope, the previous save was before you started the level. And there's really no control over that, and it sucks. Oh god, that's not where I want to be. Actually, that was a lot safer than it normally is. Alright. So again, we don't have our remote bombs, so we... oh god! And those things confuse you. That's right. They don't freeze you, they confuse you. Which means it completely messes up with your controller. So at this point, it's basically better to just avoid all enemies if at all possible. The problem is, they really like putting enemies in the way. So avoiding bosses and standard enemies is really not a thing you can do in this game, as much as we all kind of wish they were when we have no power-ups. And I guess I could go like try and farm some, but the moment something happens and I die, it's like, oh. Now, if this guy would hover above the platform and I were to, which I can't even do, but if I had like the throw power-up and I threw a bomb, I could just knock him into the pit and kill him. But I can't do that, and I have to just sort of sit here and hope I don't get murdered by my own bomb, because I don't have remote explosives, and I don't have kick or throw. Awesome. And that's plenty of room for me to get around. Alright, come on. I guess we just had to make it realize that we already put the things on the pedestals, maybe. Possibly. Okay, so here's the new plan. Ignore all this shit and just run through it. Don't care if I take damage. Don't care if I lose all my fire-ups. Just gonna slowly dance around because lag. This game definitely feels like it's strained under pretty much everything it's doing. It's definitely trying too hard to do a bunch of stuff. But I think it still runs, for the most part, pretty well with everything it's trying to do. It only gets really bad when you start like throwing the really big bombs around. Alright, now gotta slowly meander over here. Deliver that. Grab the magical red ball of Jewel of Destiny, because Ball of Jewel of Destiny. Awesome. Alright. Now this, go figure out where it belongs. I'll tell you, it belongs in the first room of the world. So we're just gonna do that. It's not like we have power-ups to save. In fact, we're gonna get more fire-ups from this because we lost all of it. Thank you, kind of semi-unlimited power-ups. Plus, we get a teleporter back and saves us having to travel through a whole room. Speedrun strats! And then we put this here. And now the final door unlocks all the way back in that room. I love this game, but I'm not above admitting that is not the best design I've ever seen. I am terrified to think what the generator room for this planet is again. Like, a lot of them require you to do some special fancy nonsense, or at least understand how the bombs work, but without, like, kick or throw, it's not an experience I'm wildly thrilled to have to undertake. Come on, something good. Fire up. In this case, might be more of a problem than a benefit, but we'll take it. Alright, let's go up here. Push this. Take some damage. Run away. Okay, Pommy, if you want to just... Whoa! Yeah, they can knock you off this thing too, which is not ideal. But that was actually pretty okay. Now we just have to go and enter this room. And this room has these little escalator things, these little treadmills. And we need to go in there in order to... I think we need bomb kick, actually. Unless there's... No, I think last time I did this, I managed to do it with basically the same setup, so we should be okay. Possibly. I don't think we can leave right now, so I hope we can. Worst case scenario, if we die, I'll grab some like explosive power-ups, and maybe a throw power-up or two. We might very well need them. But these treadmills we can't walk up, but we can wind across. Oh god. I would very much like to not get completely murdered here, if that's okay with you, game. Now, all of these places I can kind of get a feel for where I need to be, but there's one that I'm not entirely certain how I'm supposed to get. There's one right there. That one I'm not sure about. Okay, so let's drop fire one there. That one I can get to, that's not a problem. That one over there might be a bit tricky. This one, I think if I drop myself there. Okay, I think I get it. Possibly. I mean, if I get murdered, I guess we'll find out if I got it right. I think one of these, I'm not sure it was this one, but I think there was a certain generator room that had like a certain thing that you could drop a bomb into and it like put you somewhere special. Yeah, no. I think I need to just throw a bomb up there. Because I can get there, but getting back doesn't seem to be possible. Okay. So now we're on the epic quest for a glove and a boot power-up. And maybe some bomb-ups. That's not going to reach any of them, is it? Oh, hey, kick. That's one power-up I need. Run away from the harpies so they don't train my flame-ups. Another neat thing about this game is it has an excellent soundtrack, but like prior to fighting the boss and after fighting the boss, the soundtrack actually changes. Like there's 2 songs for every world, just depending on when you are experiencing them, which I think is a really neat touch. Like one hand you're like listening to this song under the control of the villains, the other one you're listening to a more pure version of the world where you've sort of already defeated the villains and are on your way to saving the day, sort of. Kind of a neat idea. I'll take that. Alright, we got plenty of bomb ups, now we just need a glove. Which, oh, I absolutely want that. Okay, I think the glove was in this room. Oh wait, you might actually get to see one of these enemies. Okay, you're dead. Now, you're not actually a statue. You're not actually a statue. Yeah, he also likes doing that, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But you can hit him from a distance, so it's alright. Here we go. There's also some, like, weird changes to some levels, like, once you beat the boss, like, there's just an inexplicable door is now missing and stuff. And, like, it's intentional, but it's weird that it happens and that it's never really explained to you. Like, I remember one of the second-tier worlds, after these guys, once you beat the boss, a door disappears and you can get, like, a special power behind it. But it's, like, they never really show that to you, unless you buy, like, one of the hint tapes from the storekeeper. So it's just sort of, you have to understand that it happened. Which comes across as a little strange. Something died. Or nothing died. That's also an option, I suppose. That's another great thing about pumped bombs, aside from the fact they just have larger hitboxes, is the explosions are unaffected by power downs. So it's like, yes, you could lower my firepower, but it's still going to do just... Oh, there's a glove there. That's good to know. But it's going to do just as much damage, and it's going to be just as big. It's going to lag the game just as much, but still, it's going to be awesome, so we do it anyway. I think pump bombs are easily, like, the best part of what the original Bomberman 64 was. Like, that game was not that good. Like, I have nostalgia for it, but I mean... I do not like that game all that much. That said, I mean, Rainbow Palace is enough to make me hate that game. Awesome. Ha! And that's why you don't try and take shortcuts. Because bad things happen. Alright, well, now that we know that there's a glove power-up over there, we'll just go grab that. Save us all some time. Glove power-up how I want you. Awesome. I just wish I was going a little faster. Alright. I don't know how that happened. I'm not complaining. Go away. Oh, good. I'm slowed. That's not like I needed speed for anything. Oh, God. I don't want to get knocked off into the abyss again. Instant death pits, they're not fun. Get it through your thick skull, world. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, there's the harpy. That'll be largely unaffected by this, I'm sure. Well, that kind of did something. There we go. That's one down. I think it was this one we have to place that on. Alright, so throw that over there. We're gonna swap to fire bombs. Like that there. Now, the nice thing about these rooms is you don't really have to actually fight any of these guys. They're just sort of there. So if you don't want to fight them, you don't have to. Which is good, because we don't want to fight them. They're just sort of there to be annoying. And of course, we have to finish this off with the super explosive bomb. And after this, we'll have done what it took me 2 days to do, like 4 years ago when I did the full Let's Play this. So I just did one of these every single day because that's how the whole system works. Now, unfortunately, I have to do that tomorrow with Bomberman Jetters, which I'm terrified about, but I keep getting assured by my girlfriend, no, really, Bomberman Jetters is good. And I do trust her, but I remember Bomberman Generation being better than Jetters, and having played Generation last year, oh god, that game is bad. It's, what's his name, the guy with the fantastic laugh. And the Lightning Lady. He wasn't even nice as a knight, he cheated. Yes, yes, you're another girl, I get it. And you're the old man, as opposed to the other old man, because we ran out of character personalities halfway through these people. They have facial expressions that are not shown on their characters at all. You know, I always knew someone who thought this lady looked kind of like if you made Frieza a cat. And I'm kind of seeing it. It's got like the white and purple design. It's kind of got like cat claws and ears. Frieza kitty. Power and beauty. And here's the only one worth mentioning. Our old pal Regulus, now going as Bullseed. Now the funny thing is, like, he's the big bad villain who's in charge of all these people, and the knights are just so busy, like, bickering, they don't even listen to him, which is so funny. It's like, would you just listen to me, please? Maybe you'd stop dying so much if you just listened to me. I like his evil villain laugh. I think it's an evil villain laugh that is to be aspired to. Now, of course, it's not labeled complete because we did not grab everything in here. Let's see if we can buy a new thing. Here's a bunch of custom bomber parts. I don't need those. I need this. I don't think I can afford the next one. Now, that said, we could go back to completed areas, grind through them, and really just run to the end. It's not like we have to fight the boss or anything again. They're already gone. But, you know, I don't see the reason to, seeing as we're here just for footage at this point. I really like the music to this level. I like the music to every level in this game, but the music to this level is, like, my favorite, I think. It's just got, like, this excellent little harp in the background. Very nice, very nice. Yep, don't fall in the water, you can't swim. Okay, now these frogs, if I can recall, know how to, like, self-detonate your bombs or something, like or they eat your bombs or something, like they do something that's annoying if I recall correctly. Which is why it's kind of obnoxious to have to fight them without remotes. Press the button, grab the speed up. I want to get out of there. Or they prematurely detonate it so that you take damage or something. I remember these enemies doing something rather obnoxious. Okay, and there's some ice here, so we have to break that. I think we can actually walk in there. It's not super deep or anything. Oh, I think it might be drained all out already. Nope. But it has a button we can press, and we need to press the buttons. And by that, I mean we need to press the buttons, Bomberman. Weird camera angle. Alright. I'm gonna take damage no matter where I stand. Oh, right, I can't throw because we reset all the power-ups, because that makes sense. At least I feel less bad about leaving this check at the bomber parts in between the previous level. Come on, Froggy. We don't need that heart. We have full hearts. Oh, right. No bomb kick. And those pufferfish, they just auto-detonate anything around it. And they take 3 bombs because they're annoying. You know, it's a really terrible realization. I mean, last year's Bomber Week with Bomberman Generations was bad. I'm terrified of Bomberman Jetters this year, but after that I've done, as far as I'm aware, all the console adventure games. After that it's just like the 3 Game Boy games and that's it. And if we're doing that, we have to start with Bomberman Quest, which is a train wreck of a game. After that we can do Bomberman Tournament, which is at least a really good game, but then after that we gotta do the Game Boy Jetters, which is like its own thing, but it's completely in Japanese, so that's gonna be interesting as well. But this year will be the last, like, console one, which is certainly, if nothing else, I guess it's a milestone in some respect, but at the same time it's kind of sad, because it means, like, you know, I can't, for the same thing, do this again. I guess. I'm just gonna run past you because I'm invulnerable. Plus parts. I'm not sure if destroying these does a thing, but we're gonna do it anyway. Ah, it did a thing. Good. Again, this game likes some weird camera angles. I know the original Bomberman 64 had like a level where the camera was underneath the environment the entire time, like by design. That was a little strange, but this game seems to enjoy weird camera angles a little bit more. Alright, now let's see. Oh, this is, one of those. Okay. Not the most useful, but, you know, things to collect. And then let's put this next to probably the most dangerous thing in the room. Taking damage because of your own incompetence. A staple in any Bomberman game. I want that heart, but if I get it, I'll be stuck down there again. Nice thing is there is a button to manually stop your bombs if you kick them. It's R, which is a weird button, but this game really uses every button except like L. As far as I know, it's like the only button they don't use, which is kind of strange. Okay. Now you see there's like this weird colored pillar in between these two pillars. And if if you played Bomberman 64, you know what that sound means. It means you can't blow it up without a pumped bomb, but in this game it means something else as well. It means you got the wrong kind of bomb. And let's try not to get ourselves murdered if we can. Optimism, but still. And you can actually skip that door and just pop the fence, but there we go. My beloved glove with my beloved pumped bombs. Yes, there must be. Unfortunately, we'll never know because we can't go there ever. But maybe it was a level in Bomberman Hero, possibly. Maybe it was one of those gold bomber levels, or the ones that are stuck on the moon of Planet Bomber, where you need the N64 Konami Hudson Pro controller to unlock. Because you need the button tapping prowess of Meijin Takahashi in order to unlock them. Alright. If I recall, I got stuck, I don't think in this room, but a room that's kind of around here. And it wasn't like a hard room or anything, it was just a little bit awkward what they wanted you to do. Oh yeah, mermen, they're a thing in this game. That was like the last thing I wanted to do. I like that. It's like you get a bonus skill shot power from knocking your bomb into your opponents, and hey, it's a power down. That's fun. Fun getting power downs. I like that the merman dies by getting chucked underwater. Also that he drops chicken. Something about that's just funny. Let's press that button. It would help if I could run, but I can't. And now Pommy drowns. Alright. Please have a speed power up. That would be super nice right now. Or one that's gonna do me absolutely no good. That's alright too. More gold. And a speed up. Oh god, it's the seals. The seals are like the most obnoxious enemies in this world. Because they can pick up and throw your bombs back at you. And literally all you can do is just flood it with bombs and probably murder yourself in the process. And they have so much health. Like that. Good example. Thanks, Bomberman. Oh yeah, and they knock you out if you do that. Because these are fun enemies. Ah. You know, I'm gonna take damage and I don't even care. So I at least got to take you out with me. And I got to knock you out to do it. Oh, that was just mean. Alright. I think this is the room where I... Nope, this is the next one, I think. One of these rooms is like a room I really don't like, and I have nothing but bad memories of. Funnily enough, I don't think these are the same crabs they used in Bomberman Hero, though they look very similar. Or were those lobsters? I can't even remember. Okay. Yeah, this is the room. This room is terrible. Oh, so close. Like, I think what you're supposed to do is throw a small bomb on the first platform on the right, then throw a second bomb on top of it that bounces across, but it's just... The moment you touch any of the water, and it's really easy to slip off the platform, you just die instantly. so it's almost easier to, like, if I took a step down there, I'd be dead instantly. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, but it's almost easier just to try and throw a big bomb from that corner and get it in. But that's going to drain all the water, I think. No, it spawns statues that you have to destroy that drain the water. Because we have to make it a big roundabout thing. Because Bomberman second attack. But those statues correspond with the heads in the previous room. And that one closes and stops draining water. And then this one recovers because that's nice. That's not busy work at all. But now we can go get some stuff. And that's nice. And it means we're on the way to getting probably the best bombs in the game. And yes, they can pick up the really big bombs. It's not like you can just get one that's huge and, oh god, I want to stay away from that. Because, of course, we haven't fought the knight yet, which means if we die, we're going back to the first area. And we've drained the water, so we could theoretically just sort of hop the fence and get back here quick, but it still takes a while. Like, it does feel like these worlds are a little too big and need more checkpoints. Oh, sure. Second one will knock you out. The first one won't. Really doesn't seem it, but this is absolutely my favorite Bomberman game. Oh hey, I can pick that up, that's awesome. Didn't realize I could just pick up that power-up. Also, spoilers, there's a thing on top of there that I'm pretty sure contains a custom Bomberman part. I'm not going to be bothering because climbing sheer walls is just really ridiculously frustrating. Let's see if we can go back and get that, thank you, Mr. Crab. Let's see if we can go get that, power up again, because I want it. So I don't need to pump that bomb. You want to knock that other one into the, drink there, Pommy? It'd be very helpful if you did. The nice thing is, because I have the remote bomb, it doesn't really matter. Alright, we're gonna get some full health out of this. Let's see if we can get in there. Run like hell. Because we're gonna run up onto the knight pretty quick. Now, you'll kind of notice that in the previous levels, the world was kind of split to, like, two halves, like, prior to the boss and after the boss. In this game, in this world, it's more like, you pretty much play the entire world, then you fight the boss, then you have to go through, like, 2 rooms and you're done. There's a little bit less busy work, there's a little bit more of a just sense of once you get to the boss, you're pretty much done the area, which is kind of nice. Oh, and hey, weird camera angles that were not present the first time we came around. Just gonna take that. Now, I know I have to kill all of you before I can leave, but still. Stupid frog. You go squish. want that power up. I'm less immediately familiar with what we got to do to fight this boss. I mean, we have to blow him up a bunch of times, obviously, but I'm not as immediately sure what his pattern is. But that said, I genuinely don't think I've ever lost to him, so... But I know he's got the best bombs in the game, so I really do want to take him out for sure. Makes the previous knight's fight a lot easier if you have his bombs. He's this guy. That is a good gut feeling, Pommy. Work with it. Behemoth. The guy with a giant ice crown. Now the problem is, if we lose to this guy, we have to go all the way back to the first room just to get back here, which kind of sucks. But if we beat him, and we die at any point after that, of like the 3 rooms left in this world, we just start back here. That's a dumb name. Also, no remote control for you. Also, he's an arm cannon, so he's also a Mega Man villain. I'm not sure how much health you have. The nice thing is he's such a huge target compared to every other Astral Knight in the game. Like, he's... I'm not gonna say he's the easiest or anything, but... he's up there. Now, granted, he's, of course, like, potentially the second boss in the game, but... I think they tried to counter it by making his particular room a little bit smaller than Azarth's, but... and that random icicles sometimes drop on you. And you can't seem to KO him, which is weird. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, he's impervious to knockouts. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever run into that situation where that's ever been relevant, but still. There we go. Yep, you lose. Yes, the true powers of the element stones give me element-flavored bombs, and they're awesome. So get out of my way. We got the best bombs! Hooray! And there's no trickery bullshit. He was actually an honorable knight and gave us the prize after we beat him. Now the music's changed a little bit. It's exposition dump lady again. Hooray! Yes, yes, it's very nice to see you. Yep. He was a cakewalk. Now, it's also worth noting that at this point we've gone through every single boss that doesn't have an instant kill attack, so everyone after this could potentially destroy us instantaneously. If we get caught in it. Now, the nice thing is, with the exception of one, they all have like a sort of power-up animation beforehand that's really easy to see. So it's really just a matter of, okay, you see the enemy power-up, just don't stand where you were a few seconds ago and you should be okay. In fact, for the most part, again, with the exception of Bullzeeb, whose like entire repertoire of attacks is literally just insta-kills, Every other knight's attacks, their insta-kill is probably the best attack for them to use, just because it's very easy to predict. Whereas everything else is actually dangerous. But yes, it explodes in a circle, which makes it a very predictable attack. Which is part why it makes it so good. It's a very pretty fountain. Oh, and there's wall things that spit at you. Which I think cause you to take damage and knock you out. I know they knock you out anyway. Okay, so now we've frozen that, now we swap to standard bombs, and we throw that, and we break it. And that's going to lead us to the last bit of this world. Oh, and the heart's gone. I could have used that heart. Oh god, that's not where I wanted that to be at all. You don't get me at all, game. Alright, well, we got a heart out of that. More hearts and money. Alright, so let's just sneak around here. Now this is a little bit tricky because our bombs are so powerful. We have to actually go across there, and the actual collision detection of that platform is at best very, very iffy. Well, we managed to get through it, so that's not too bad. He's not going to take any damage from that, is he? I know there's some enemies that not only don't take damage, but actually heal if you hit them from certain elements. But there's also certain enemies that instantly die. Thank you, Pommy. You were once again kind of surprisingly useful. Oh god, it's this room. Oh, okay, this is where bad things happen. Now, I'd be inclined to say we should just use the wind bomb to get across, but I'm not sure exactly what across is over there. Let's try it. Actually, that was a lot less dangerous than I thought it would be. Alright, so gravity generator. Now you'll notice those little cheeky shields around the little generator, like power core things that give it its own shield now. That's not a matter of progression either. Like, if we did this one before the Wind Planet, these would still be here and the Wind Planet wouldn't have any. So, yes, you always trip the tripwire, Pommy. You need to learn not to do that. Okay, first things first, we gotta take out the enemies so that we can just do our thing without having to worry about getting murdered. And then the only thing we have to worry about getting murdered from is our own bombs. Oh, right, can't, no remote control, so they even highlight it in the text. You'd think I'd learn that after a while. But we need to destroy these consoles to lower the shields, I think. Kick! I would very much like that heart. Let's go grab that. Okay. Blow that up. Oh, sure. Just go up there, why don't you? And you notice under these consoles there's buttons that will weaken the shield, but you have to freeze the shield and then blow it up, kind of like that fountain we did before. I'm actually surprised how much I've gotten done in 2 hours in this game. Bear in mind, last time I had to play this, like, I did a level a day, and I swear every level took like an hour. Okay, so stand on top of this. And Then we gotta blow it up. I think we could do maybe one more level after this. We'll throw the iceberg bomb over there. Ah, it didn't work. Because you gotta stand on it while it's doing a thing. Oh, it doesn't work. Now, the nice thing is, if it's frozen, I don't think it ever unfreezes, so we can just leave that alone. Unfortunately, you cannot swap, Oh, that's that one, isn't it? That's annoying. You can't swap bombs if you've already got, like, an element bomb out there. And even though there's a bomb count, and the wind bombs and ice bombs actually do respect it, pretty much every bomb after this, you can only have one of out at a time, which is kind of annoying. And because of that, it's almost better to just use the, like, super bombs, because you can only have one of those out at the same time as well. Alright. Is this generator named the Titanic? Because there's an iceberg about to hit it. Down that goes. Alright, we freed Aquanet from BHB control. Go team. Alright. Slaffy McGrinson smiles over here. Still frustrated his knights don't listen to him because they're all cocky jerks. Now, the thing you also have to understand about the levels after this is, while their knights are a lot more deadly with their instant kill attacks, their levels also feel a lot longer. They require a lot more running around, if I recall. Now, we've already covered Planet Wind, Planet Water, and Planet Fire. And we've just unlocked two more, Planet Lightning and Planet Earth. Now, Planet Earth, from what I remember, is like the longest, most unpleasant planet in the world, or in the game, just because it's all instant death lava, and it all looks the same. It's just a depressing level, I think. So if we really are doing one more level, we're going to do Lightning, just because that's an interesting level to see. Also, this guy in the middle, the old-timer who's the Earth boss, he's a little bit obnoxious because not only does he have an instant kill attack, he has a move that will knock you out. And then he'll instant kill you. Yeah, there is. See, he was the easiest boss in the game he premiered in. Also, this guy needs to be in more games. Like, seriously, why have they not made Bomberman 64 sequels? Or at least a spin-off with this guy. Regulus is, like, the best Bomberman character. Yeah, he was kind of a joke in Bomberman 64, but man, is he awesome in this game. It will not be you, because your planet is terrible. Also, you do that, which knocks me out, and then you can instant kill me, and I don't like that very much, Moloch. Well, they're more like petulant children who don't listen to you, but yes. Again, excellent laugh. Love that guy's laugh, it's fantastic. Alright, so this is the planet Nature Planet Neverland, the level that takes way too long to complete, and Starlight, which takes a while as well, but at least it's relatively interesting to look at. Plus, we can go buy ourselves another heart, which I will do that. like that. That full power, it's cheap, but you can only buy one, and there's only one point where I want to use it, and that's on that purple pillar on the wind planet, because that area is just kind of obnoxious to get to without it. Also, weird camera angles, yet again. Yes, it's a giant casino. Alright, if we're doing this, I'm going to point out where that stupid Bomberman armor part is, too, while I'm here. But the enemies here are kind of obnoxious, especially if you don't have the remote, because they just sort of move in an absolutely random pattern, and they're actually fast, and I can't kick bombs at them. I hate these chips, they're so annoying. Now what's interesting is, I think this level actually does reuse assets from Bomberman 64, because if you recall also they knock you out and do damage, which is like the best combination of things ever. But if you'll recall, Bomberman 64 had those card enemies from the terrible Rainbow Palace level that no one ever saw because it was terrible. And they're normal enemies here. Yeah, this is why these guys are terrible. It's like they move randomly, they have way too much health, and they can both knock you down and force you to take damage. Now, as you heard, there's a sound effect. This little statue up on the top of the wall just appeared because we destroyed both speakers. And that's a thing for, I think, Bomberman parts. And here's the card enemies from Bomberman 64, although they've been dressed up a little bit. I think Bomberman 64, they also shot out tornadoes when they punched. And you'll notice there's like a little bunny girl statue to the left. That was the magical disappearing door they don't ever really talk about, if I recall. Oh god, and there's an enemy. And these things take multiple hits as well, so basically we're just hoping Pommy can keep this guy distracted. And is not doing the best of jobs. Alright, and there's these demon guys that take quite a lot of damage, and they can hit you from range, and they can cause your bombs to self-detonate, which is great. And that's an important room we'll be back to later. There's a little walking, I think that's supposed to be a jukebox robot, which I like the idea of a jukebox robot. Those little skis for legs. Ow. I'm really making a lot of great use of that new health power-up I bought. Run away! I don't need to fight any of you. Which is great, because I'm just capturing footage. Although at this point, I might very well be doing a second Bomberman Let's Play during this week, and I didn't intend that. But it's my favorite one, so I'm almost okay with it. Oh yeah, that's right, I have to actually kill these guys. And they're unaffected by fire. So we're gonna use water because they're just practical bombs. Oh, and if you get hit by that, you get turned into like a little mouse, like the downgrade in the multiplayer. So let's not touch the magic, but I will want that bomb kick. Bomb up. And unlike Bomberman Jetters, you don't need a terrible voice clip to tell you, bomb up, bananas. Oh, but it's the thing I'm going to have to experience tomorrow. I'm really hoping it's better than I remember it being. That said, part of the reason why I remember it being bad was because the copy I rented to play, weirdly enough, it would save, but it could not recognize save data. And the thing is, if I touch that door, it's going to send me back. Oh, that's right. I need to activate the elevator on the other end first. Right. Okay, this entire little trip has been pointless. Now we have to hit the button again. Because, like I said, I like this game, but it is a lot of busy work. Why do you have so much health? Oh, that's right, I don't have a... Oh, and they track. Awesome. I want to go that way, but I can't. Alright, come on. You guys need to die. I get that you have a lot of health, but you just need to die. It is kind of neat that they have like built-in resistances and strengths to certain powers and stuff. Like, I like the idea. I'm not sure it was necessarily done all that well in execution, but I like the idea. Now I have to be real careful not to explode myself with my own bombs, because the explosion radius is a bit big. Yeah, I know what you're wondering. Could you have gone through those trees and just cut through the entire side without going to the main hub? No, I couldn't have, because this level is designed that way. You never really get to see a close-up of those magicians, but in that one shot it looked like they had like mustaches and beards, which is kind of neat. Just a shame you don't actually get to ever really see them. And of course, again, if you die any point between here and defeating the boss of the area, you have to start back at the original starting point, which is not ideal at all. Okay, let's skip these guys because I don't want to deal with these guys anymore. Okay, this is the room that is like the most obnoxious Bomberman part in the game. For one thing, you can't destroy the signpost, or signpost, the lamppost in the middle. You actually need those to get it, which automatically makes things a little bit tricky. Maybe they don't destroy. Well, that's at least nice, but it gets really bad really quick. Although, if you know what you're doing and you can perform the same trick twice, you can actually skip like 2 rooms. But essentially, there's a statue that would appear on the ledge right above me. I think you get it by destroying this car. Yep. What you'd have to do is you'd have to like make a... Oh, let's kill you before I have to explain this terribleness. I did it once, I don't want to ever have to do it again, but still I should at least explain. Nope, those ones get destroyed. The ones you actually need get destroyed. The ones that don't stay perfectly still. That's awesome. Okay, well, you'd have to basically put a bomb right next to the lamppost on this side, like right here. And you have to put like 2 more next to it, on top of each other. And you have to put one here, and then you'd have to throw one at the wall, which knocks on top of you, which knocks you up the stairs of bombs, so that you randomly land on that platform up there. That is far less than ideal. Again, if you've played Rainbow Palace in Bomberman 64, it's certainly doable, and in fact it's a little bit easier than that, and it would be a great primer for it, but it's not enjoyable at all. I did it once, I have no aspiration to ever get it again. It's kind of like me getting the gold armor in Bomberman 64. It's like, I did it once, no more thank you. I don't care that my save file is gone and I no longer have it. I did it once, I don't ever want to do it again. Now, true to its nature as a casino, this area is, or this area, well, actually, yeah, the room next to it specifically, but this entire planet is where you get the most amount of money. compared to anything else. Also, I have no idea how you're supposed to get that. Like, it's just sitting there behind a sheer wall. So short of you, like, bomb bouncing your way up, sort of like how you get that one terrible Bomberman part. I just don't see how you do it, really. Now, left is the room we need to go to later, right is the room we need to go to right now. So this room is a giant slot machine. You'd think that it's based on randomness and you need the slot machine to work in order to succeed, but it's actually based on a pattern. You just have to blow up the slot machines in a certain order, and then you get to go. I do not remember what that order is, but we will find out as we go, I guess. Gloves! Alright, that was not the proper order. Let's try again. I think it's that one next, and then that one. Yep. Now don't fall off or you have to do all that nonsense again. And welcome back to the first area of the world. Again, this game kinda likes its busy work a little bit too much. But since we're here... I really like how pretty this world is. Like, it's just nice and colorful. And this is... Look at these little exploding flowers. They're very nice. Not sure what was blocking... Like, that statue is clearly blocking the entrance, but I'm not sure what you would do for it at any point. I want that heart, but I'm really terrified about how that explosion moves vertically. Well, let's not blow ourselves up, you know, again. Like that. I think there's some more hearts up here. Oh, okay, now. That's not what I wanted to do. Whoops. Don't get me wrong, that's exactly what I wanted to do, but... Alright, we got it. And now we're at the boss room. Which is a really nice area. It's like this nice little, I guess it's supposed to be like a burlesque theater, perhaps. Bobby wants to go play up on stage with his new friend, this lady. She's probably the most personality-filled out of the lot, I guess. Not that there's a lot of personality to give these people, seeing as they only have a few sentences with you as a character, and then, like, just a bunch of jabs at each other, but still, at least tried to build a character with her. A little, kinda. And she might be flirting with him a little. But they're at least letting us out. Because we know these people are very, very trustworthy at this point. And then she strikes our old friend, Exposition Lady, with lightning to prove how nice she is. Yes, I'm actually evil. Did you forget? Now what's interesting is because she has a weirdly shaped room to fight in with this stage, she can actually get stuck on the stage and behind the stage a little bit. Now she's also the first boss that has an instant kill attack. We'll see if we can point it out when we see it. That tracking lightning's a little obnoxious, but they don't tend to use their instant kills out unless it's like a desperation. Like they have to be half health before they use it, I think. That's an instant kill. They always have that sort of like aura around them before they use it. Now, that tracking lightning is probably the most deadly thing in her repertoire. Like I said earlier, once they start introducing insta-kills, they're actually not that bad. It's their standard attacks that are scary. Oh god, that was bad though. Like, I'm pretty sure invulnerability will not cover instant kills, but she knocked my own bomb into her, so go team. You lose, lightning lady. Yes. Our friend Exposition Lady is also a goddess, by the way. Just because plot. Because we needed to justify the fact we have two final bosses, kind of. And she has the insta-kill aura of protection because reasons. Come on, just give me the lightning stone so I can be on my merry little way. But now that we're deepening the plot with this lady, now we need more exposition because reasons. Yes, please go. Let me get my super-powered bombs. Like, these bombs are really what makes this game so cool. Like, the multitude of bosses, the multitude of levels, they're nice. But it's really the fact that you get so many different interesting explosives that really make this game so cool. Alright, so we got this. And this is the last of the bombs that actually get influenced by the multi-bombs, because after this you can only like lay off one of every bomb, which kind of sucks. They explode in a standard plus pattern. And we want to go back in there, because a very macho bunny statue appears. That has leg parts. And of course, because they're robots, they get short-circuited really easily, and you can just blow them up with no problems with lightning. These guys, I think, are completely immune to lightning, though. Which is why we have to go back to, like, ice, which does next to nothing. We got that horrible tracking lightning. Alright. Now, what do we need to do? I think we have to go here next. There's arbitrary stuff. I think it's here we have to go back to the hub area. But either way, we'll figure it out. Ooh, more money. We do need that. I don't want the bomb down, but I wanted that money. And speed up. Kick that. Load some stuff up. It's a giant roulette table. Like, this level's super creative. Like, I think a lot of levels in Bomberman Second Attack are creative, but yep, that's what we need to blow up. Now it spawns these special card guys, which are, in fact, special, by the way. And these are all the areas we've already been to, so we kind of know where they should be already. This room we haven't been to yet. It's a giant craps table, which, again, really cool creative area. And basically, what this thing is saying is, backtrack through all the levels yet again, and you will eventually get what you need, and we don't need anything else from here. Unfortunately, the way out, I believe, is still blocked by these guys, so we gotta kill them all still. I want those hearts. Can I just leave? Or are you gonna make it a whole thing? Wow, that magic tracks across the entire room. I can't leave. I actually do have to take that out. That sucks. Oh well. And I blow you up. Like, if it wasn't for those little demon guys, I wouldn't have much of a problem with just spamming electricity, but they're immune to it. Okay, now, we need to kill those enemies and get what they drop. So what you're probably thinking is we should just drop down and kill him, but we don't really want to, just by virtue of the fact that we have to go back through these areas. And if we did go through and... I'm going to go to lightning here, just to see if they do more damage. The problem is they're going to have a hard time hitting because they don't blow up in a circle. They do seem to do a lot more though, so... Come on. And boom! Alright. Now, fortunately, we don't need to actually win at slots to get through this door this time. Since we've hit the button, we just have to go through this door. The problem is we have to figure out which one's the special card. I think it's the blue one. Or that green one of the two. Wasn't him. I like the lighting on the walls here and like the giant rotating disco ball. Like, that's kind of a nice effect. It's not complex, it doesn't require like a high poly count or anything, it's just, you know, nice. And it's fitting for like it being a giant casino party planet. Yeah, it's the green one. It's always the green one. It ain't easy being green. Why'd he drop this key? That's also a card. It's a key card. Okay, let's leave. I can't leave till I kill these guys. Alright. So again, we're going to collect some money. And, well, I think this will be the last level we do in this session. I'm probably going to do one more session of recording later in the week after we do the rest of Bomberman stuff. So, we won't need a lot of money right now, but if we are going to continue doing this, definitely useful for next time. Oh, come on, doors. This door is programmed weird and it's annoying me. There we go. Okay, where's lightning? Oh. Nope. I do appreciate that things seem to die a lot with these lightning bombs. Like, they have the same plus pattern as everything else, but they clearly just do the most damage out of everything. Heart. Some money. Alright, now we gotta kill this other card guy for his card. Oh, the slowdown. Alright, we got the second card. Alright. Just need the other two cards. Yeah, we should use this card. But we need to get the other two first. And you'll notice, as I kind of mentioned when we first entered this room, this magical statue is now missing. And there's a special leg part that actually changes our actual character, because the rest of the parts don't. This is the Guardian armor. I guess it's alleged that you are kind of, sort of, perhaps one of the Elemental Knights in a weird way or something. And this is your armor. And we got the boots, which gives us unlimited bomb kicks. Which is pretty useful. And each part of the armor gives you like a different effect. So like the arms give you permanent throw. The head part gives you permanent, except for like the final areas that disable your remote, of course, bomb remote. I think the chest part gives you like, I think it reduces your knockdown status. And we insert the card keys into these little, like, card keys things that don't look remotely like they should hold these cards, but they do somehow. And the nice little hub foyer now contains an elevator, where a fountain used to be. Like, this level's got a lot of creativity. I love this world. And the last couple areas are really great too. It's just really the middle Earth levels that suck. Once you get past that Earth level, it's actually not too bad. Alright, and here's the generator room. Now this one, if I recall, is actually kind of tricky, because it requires you to use like everything you've learned up to this point, because they understand that you can't get to this world until after you've already defeated the wind guy, the fire guy, and the water guy. So you need those bombs to do all this. Okay. Yep, they found us alright. Okay, now we want to destroy all of them, but since this one's here, we'll go here already. Now, because we have +0, that's going to make things tricky. And because we're now trapped in an area where a guy with tracking lightning could do a lot of damage to us, we're not exactly in the best of spots at the moment. Now, I fortunately do have this. Just gonna get out of the way. Go away, your level was terrible in original Bomberman 64 card guy. Alright. Got this here. Now here's where having like 0 firepower could actually be really useful. And here's about where you need to have multiple bombs. And I think if we hit this, yeah. The nice thing is, they let us go through here, but the problem is that really, if you drop there, sort of like how there was like that penultimate area in the water planet, there's sort of like a 50-50 chance if you freeze a platform, you're either going to die or you're going to make the platform, and it's just dangerous. So it's definitely like the last one you want to get, certainly. Dun dun dun. Plot. Hey, that's a different crystal than the rest. Spoilers! Spoilers! Also, now he has a red eye. So you know he's definitely evil now if you didn't get that from his evil laugh of awesomeness. Oh, his portrait does not have one. I've got several save files that have in fact made it that far. Your level just kinda sucks. Also, you don't get to watch the knights bicker through that one. Okay, just for the fun of it, we're gonna go and get one more thing. So, etc. We'll buy that hearts, and I think we can buy one more. Yep. Alright, so we got all the hearts. And full power. We can only buy it once, and now's the time, I guess. Okay. I want to go to Horizon again. Okay, now we have all the power-ups, which means we don't have to worry about trying to find stuff. So it's really just a matter of getting to that one specific room. And not losing our lives a bunch of times. Alright, we gotta reopen all the doors if I recall. I'll work with lightning because I think it's a better upgrade to fire if we're using the standard plus bombs. That is not the door I wanted to open. Is that just the remote? I don't think I've ever actually popped that soft block. That's where we need to go. Back to the terrible room of terribleness. Alright. I gotta push that aside. Sneak past that guy. Blow that up. Not quite a perfect plus, there's a bit of a little blub in the middle. A blubble. Alright, come on. Alright. We don't want any power downs, because this thing kind of requires a lot of power-ups. That's why I bothered to get the whole max power thing. Invulnerability! I will abuse it. Okay. Oh, almost. Almost. There we go. And now again, once again proving how bad this is, we have yet another one square block that we just sort of have to share the spot with the bomb and hope we get shoved in the right direction. That's the arm part, which gives us permanent throw, which means we can permanently pump bombs. Now, as you can see, there's a big cantaloupe as well as a as well as a big piece of meat, as well as cake. And if you're trying to get the secret Pommy evolutions, which requires you to eat like 32 exact of the biggest food types, that's the room to do it. Because you can just leave and come back, and you get literally everything you need. And you can just respawn it immediately. And after that, it's just a matter of keeping track of how many of what he's had. But the trick is keeping it all equal and not going over the limit of 32. And now we're dead. But on the bright side, we have the sleeves and we can just run to the end now. Wait for it to save, and then that's it. Now, if I recall, the other two parts are located in the Earth planet, which you can't get until you get one of the last bombs. And I think the other one is located in the water planet, but you need the Earth bombs to get, I think. So we've already done this. We can just use our already existing remote that has no longer been disabled in this room. Just get out of here without having to deal with any of the nonsense. Let's see if we can shoot ourselves straight into the thing. There we go. Style points! Alright. And that's Baku Bomberman 64, the second attack. This has been a preview for Bomber Week, where starting tomorrow and every day for like the next week, we're going to be playing Bomberman Jetters. Large amounts of excitement in my voice right there. And I think I'll be playing more of this later on this week, just for more footage for review, but, you know, this has been my favorite Bomberman. If you enjoyed this, you know, go check out my YouTube channel where I've got a full Let's Play of this I did like 4 years ago. As well as every other Bomber Week up to this point. And, hopefully until the end of time, although I'm gonna have to start, like, going over existing Bomberman games very soon, because after this it's the Game Boy Advance ones, and the Game Boy Color one, and that's about it. But that's because I'm pretty sure Bomberman stopped doing adventure games after the N64, as far as I'm aware. But that said, I'm not that familiar with the PS1 library. I think the Saturn might have gotten one, I'm not sure. I know the DS got 2, but those were exclusive to both Japan and PAL regions, and I've got no way to record it, but I really want to get those games too. But anyway, if you enjoyed this and you want to see more Bomberman, come back tomorrow to see more, because we're going to be doing more of this in a different game. And follow the Twitch stream. Check out my YouTube channel, subscribe there. And if you really want to make my day, hit up my Patreon, help support me so that I can continue to do awesome things. And you get yourself on the Patreon supporters Discord, where we can talk about how bloody awesome this game is, because it is easily one of the best, if not the best, N64 game. It's certainly the best Bomberman game as far as I'm concerned. But I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you next time. Peace out, Internet.